Hey, I'm Matt Fyrourke, Game Director on The Elder Scrolls Online. I'm really happy to be here today to talk about the next great adventure in ESO. Since the original launch of ESO, we've been committed to giving our players new content and features. We've worked continually to make the game better and more fun for everyone. ESO has improved and has grown with every update, and with our 2015 launch of the game on Xbox One and PS4, we set the standard for massively multiplayer games on consoles. The introduction of DLCs such as Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood, Orsinium, and the Imperial City gave the ESO community lots more to do in Tamriel. Our final addition last year was One Tamriel, which eliminated all level and alliance restrictions, allowing players to go wherever they want, whenever they want, and with whomever they want. And we're not stopping there. Our first major update in 2017, Homestead, will launch soon, allowing players to acquire and decorate their own homes. Since launch, The Elder Scrolls Online has been one of the most active, growing, and thriving online games in the world, with incredible new content and features that millions of players have told us they love. From all of us at ZeniMax Online Studios, we want to thank our incredible community for your support, your feedback, and dedication. You are the reason why ESO has achieved such success. We would not be here without you. And so, we're happy to announce a new adventure in The Elder Scrolls Online, something bigger and more epic than we've ever done before. We hope you enjoy the next chapter of ESO. Thank you.
What do you ask of me, assassin?
Sanction to execute the Grand Master for his betrayal of the Order.
Granted. Kill him somewhere out of the way to avoid questions.
Return swiftly, Morrowind, and bring any allies you meet.
Morrowind has need of you all.
Hello everyone, Kelly Link here, joined by Rich Lambert and Pete Hines. And you guys, what we just saw there, you guys are here to show us the newest chapter of the Elder Scrolls Online.
We are.
Where are you guys taking us?
We are going to Morrowind. More specifically to Vardenfell, the island of Vardenfell, yes. So this chapter is something really special for us. You know, the team has gone to great lengths to try and recreate the world, the space that everybody that played Morrowind got to see.
And I mean, as far as the Elder Scrolls lineage goes, Morrowind is a fan favorite. I think I can easily say a lot of people might know Skyrim and Oblivion, but Morrowind, the story, the characters, the lineage that it has, it must have been a really challenging to be able to live up to that.
It is. You know, we want to make it special. You know, it's definitely got a special place in our hearts, and especially with the players as well. And so we've gone through to recreate the world in painstaking detail. We've taken the height map from the original Test 3, put it into our game, and adjusted it to fit with our scale and our timeline. So. And
as a zone in Elder Scrolls Online, this is the largest by far.
It is. It's huge. It's massive.
And how do characters? So you have ESO right now. You can play through Tamriel. How do players get to Vardenfell?
Well, there's two ways. So as a brand new player, this is going to feel like a new game, right? It's there's a new tutorial that kind of on-ramps you into the story, and you can play through the game. And when you've finished with it, you can go into the base game and play all the way through the base game as well. So there's 300 plus hours on top of the 30 plus hours that are coming with Vardenfell. And as an existing player, this is going to feel a little bit more like an expansion. It's kind of a dirty word to us because expansion kind of means max level, end game kind of thing. And we have that in this. But with the advent of One Tamriel, you know, we kind of got rid of all of those arbitrary level gates and player separation issues. So you can just play with anybody you want at any time.
Well, let's go a little bit past the story of what Vardenfell holds for us and talk a little bit about the additions that are coming with this new chapter. So what we saw there in the trailer was someone had a little bear pet with him.
They did. So that was the Warden. So we're introducing a new class for the first time ever in Elder Scrolls Online. And the Warden is focused around more nature-type magic. So, like all of our other classes, they have 3 unique skill lines. One is focused a little bit more on ice and defensive magics. The second one is focused more on nature and healing magics. And the third one is focused on animal companions. And so that's where you saw, in the trailer, you saw the bear. That's your ultimate. In the animal companion line. Man,
I just got a bear for my Nord as well to ride, and now I have to, oh gosh, because I need the bear, man. It's awesome. So in that skill tree, how do you said with the bear, it's an ultimate. Yep. You were talking earlier. So with this ultimate, how can you expand on it? Because the more you use it, you can branch off.
Sure. So you can, like all of our other skills, you can morph them. And so one of the morphs allows the bear to automatically resummon. So when you cast the ability, you summon your bear, and the bear stays around until he dies.
So,
which he'll never die.
Right. So you mean like he dies? He's killed in combat.
When he's killed in combat.
So you can run from one zone to another. You can use a Wayshire to a different point, and your bear will still be with you.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And you can heal it.
You can heal it. You can buff it. You can do all those things. And then there's 2 morphs, and one of the morphs allows him to automatically resurrect, and the other one allows you to get him to cast another ability to do extra damage.
And it's not just the bear, right? Your line has other creatures that you can...
Yeah, with that line, we've tried to go and hit some of the key elements, the key creatures from Morrowind. So one of the abilities that the Warden has is a direct damage ability, which calls forth a cliff racer from the sky and sends it down to go and attack.
So cliff racers are going to be in Vardenfell. Vardenfell.
Right, yeah.
Now, is there going to be hundreds of them running up from the top of the mountains? And no?
No, we tried to stay away from those because
because they were incredibly annoying in the Elder Scrolls 3
so
Morrowind.
we wanted to keep that more towards just player abilities, but we have other land-based versions of them.
Okay.
That'll be in.
What else is going to be in the environment of Vardenfell that we haven't seen in Elder Scrolls yet? Because we've seen portions of Morrowind that we're able to access in the Ebonheart Pact, but this is like Vardenfell. This is what Morrowind's based off of. What's different? What's something new that we're seeing?
Well, we're roughly 700 years in the past.
Right.
So we are before, in our timeline, before a lot of the major events that happened in Vardenfell. So Dagoth is still sleeping in Red Mountain.
But we still have the three gods, right? We
the
have
tribunal is there, yeah.
Sothasil, Amalexia, and Vivek.
There you go.
Right. Got it.
Well done, Kelly.
And so you will meet Vivek.
Really?
You will work with him as part of the main story arc through the zone. Vivek is, without kind of spoiling anything, Vivek is losing his power.
Okay.
And so he needs you to help him to prevent the destruction of Vardenfell.
And we get to see the city of Vivek, with Vivek being in there, right?
We do. But we're 700 years in the past, and so Vivek City is still actually under construction. So only a few of the cantons have actually been built.
What else has changed city-wise from the Morrowind timeline, which is like the end of the third era, and right now we're in the middle of the second era in the ESO timeline. So what else has changed? I mean, obviously the dwarves are all still gone, but is there more? Is there more of their lore in this island?
We have quite a bit of lore on the dwarves. Well, not on the dwarves, but of the ruins. You get to go in through a bunch of the dwarven ruins. You're going to get to go and see the places that you're familiar with. So you're going to get to see Sadanine, you're going to get to see Balmora. Vivek City is still under construction. So yeah, we've gone to great lengths to recreate the world that people are familiar with.
We've already met Almalexia, and we're going to meet Vivek, but you haven't said anything about Sothasil.
About Sothasil?
Is it happening? Is the Clockwork City happening? Or Clock Tower City?
You will go to a part of it.
Yeah.
You won't go to the entirety of the city here.
Oh, okay.
But we do have a new trial coming.
Okay.
And this is for our end game players. And the trial actually takes place in one of Sothasil's workshops. So somebody has accidentally discovered the entrance to this, and the defenses have kind of gone haywire. And
so we might not see him, but you definitely the itch to like get involved with Sothasil is still there. Okay. Yep. What else are we adding to this game? My goodness! Something that people have been really
the big one.
The big one, and you take it away.
No, I was just going to say, one of the things that a lot of our PvP crowd has asked for over and over and over and over is Battlegrounds.
Battlegrounds.
And so those are coming with Vardenfell.
It's a unique twist, though. It's 4v4v4.
Yep, it's a 3-sided battle.
Okay.
Small scale. We're focusing more on faster-paced gameplay. Really tight spaces, so it's really easy to jump in, find people to group with, play with. Team-based activities. We'll have at least 3 maps and at least 3 game types at launch.
And does this all take place on Vardenfell?
It does. So one of the maps is actually in a quarry on Red Mountain.
Oh, I thought Red Mountain wasn't accessible. But this is like an instance?
Yeah, you go here, and you get to play in there as well. And we'll have leaderboards, and we'll have gear that comes along with it all as well. So lots of really cool things.
That's great. I want to make sure that we're not missing anything, the content-wise, from what's being added into this game. Is there anything that I'm forgetting?
Well, we do have a recurring character coming back. So
that's right.
in the trailer, you actually got to see Naryu. And she is kind of your guide through the zone. She actually helps you in the tutorial. She's the one that kind of pushes you and pulls you through the tutorial. And you will actually get to work with her in one of the major storylines in the zone to learn a little bit about the Morag Tong and kind of how they handle things.
Speaking of Morag Tong, there's a new crafting option.
There is. If you get the collector's edition, I think, Pete, you will be able to convert gear to the Morag Tong stock.
Speaking of the collector's edition, Pete, what can everyone get out of that collector's edition?
So, as Rich said, this chapter is designed for everybody, whether you've played the Elder Scrolls Online before, or if, shame on you, you haven't tried it yet. It comes in a lot of different varieties and flavors. So there's the buy the whole thing, buy the Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind, which comes with the base game, plus the Morrowind chapter. As Rich said, you start the game in Morrowind to a completely new beginning to the game. You have a new class that you can pick from. And if you pre-order, we have a bunch of pre-order items that you get special for pre-ordering. Then we have a collector's edition. So we've got a collector edition that comes with the giant Colossus that you saw in the trailer.
Last,
this
like,
guy
5,
is,
10 seconds.
He's amazing. I don't want to pick him up because that blade is a little shaky. This is obviously our production model, but you get this beautiful physical thing that comes along with a bunch of additional digital items. And then for existing players, you don't have to buy the full game. You can simply buy an upgrade edition. So the upgrade edition for $40 allows you to simply upgrade to Morrowind. As Rich said, you can take all your existing characters into Morrowind and play all of the content and story stuff there with your existing characters. You can roll new characters and start off the game in Morrowind. And then we have a digital collector's edition that you can do as an upgrade. So you can add on all of the digital items that you see here. You get a special mount, you get a special pet, a bunch of new stuff. And so for $60, you can get just the upgrade with all the digital collector's edition stuff. And then obviously the full physical collector's edition comes with the whole kit and boodle. So basically, again, it's whether you've never played the game or you're already playing the game, there's a variety of different ways to get into this new chapter. We think folks are going to want to re-roll new characters and play through the beginning of Morrowind with a new character.
Especially for like the hardcore Elder Scrolls fans, right? Morrowind, like this is important to them. This is their I mean, this is my childhood. The nostalgia. This came out. Well, in fact, it's not a coincidence.
That hurts a little, Kelly, because I did work on that game. So your childhood
she just said you're old.
Like early in my.
I think I was in middle school. Middle school when Morrowind came out. I'm sorry.
I'm graying on camera.
It's not just a coincidence that you're releasing the Morrowind chapter for Elder Scrolls Online. It came out 15 years ago. So this is a remembrance.
It'll have been almost exactly 15 years since the first one, and you know, as Rich said, it holds a special place as well. It should. In all Elder Scrolls fans. In the modern era of the Elder Scrolls, Morrowind is really important simply because it is the one that had the most variety in terms of it felt really alien, that you had the Ashlands and you'd go to Aldrune and there's this giant hall that's built out of an ancient crab, and then you go to Sadrith Mora where you have using special magics to grow these mushroom buildings and just all of the different variety that you see throughout
in the
Vardenfell.
First two games, it was focused more on like medieval, like very European.
Traditional fantasy.
It has like the touches of Japanese history. You have not African history, but there's a lot of different types of cultures that definitely seem to be influencing Vardenfell, unlike the normal medieval European styles that we see throughout the rest
it's
of
a different style, right? It's like Pete said, it's more alien, right? And that's the thing that we've had a lot of fun playing with is. Doing something that isn't kind of your traditional fantasy. Right? It's playing with these giant mushrooms and all these weird alien kind of bug creatures and robots.
Was there any difficulties interpreting Morrowind 700 years in the past that you saw? Anything that you thought maybe the fans would be really like stringent about?
They're stringent about
everything.
Like everything.
Elder Scrolls fans give you no quarter on anything.
Yeah, Pete mentioned Aldrune, right? Which is this giant skeleton of a mud crab, and we have that in our space that you can go in, you can explore, you can do all those things as well. And so we've had to be really careful.
And Rich mentioned at the beginning, sort of the setup for creating Morrowind was to take the height map from the original game and kind of apply it to ESO and then adjust it. But I mean, I think it's way beyond that. They've gone through location, spot by spot for the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, and I don't think it's 100%, but it's really close.
But it's such a cool interpretation too. You get to like take some creative freedom, having it be 700 years in the past. Was it exciting, or did you feel like it was almost dreadful? Like how do I change Vivek City from what it once was to like building it right? Like are you ruining it? Are you making it something different, something better? Do you feel that you've changed Vardenfell, something that people won't expect?
I don't think so. I think because some of the events haven't happened, like another event that hasn't happened yet is the Ghost Fence hasn't been built yet. So Vardenfell isn't covered with as much ash as it was in Test 3. So we were able to explore the biomes more and kind of show what this island looked like before a lot of the catastrophes happened.
And we still have a lot of this stuff, like one of the big things in Morrowind were the three houses, right? You have this political thing that's going on between the Redoran, the Telvanni, and House Lalu that are all sort of struggling for power and so forth from the different regions. And we have that in Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind, but it's not exactly the same, right? In Morrowind, it was very much you sided with 1, 2, or 3, right? You picked one, and the other two were kind of done with you because it's this giant political struggle, and you can't be on multiple teams. In our game, part of One Tamriel and what Rich and his team did was kind of removing those barriers. Well, we didn't want to have you join one house and lock off the others. Like, well, what does that mean if you've grouped up with your kids and one of them is in Lalu and you're in Redoran? Like, well, are we not supposed to allow you to quest together anymore? So I think we did some things from a design perspective to not paint you into corners, because One Tamriel honestly was a lot of effort to undo those barriers and say, look, it doesn't matter. We're not going to box you off from doing other stuff, but you get to explore.
Yeah, you totally do. And one of the things that we tried really hard to do with this is there's some number of people that haven't actually played Morrowind before, so they don't know the story and they don't know the lore. And the team has had to make sure that for those players, those brand new players to this storyline and this lore, there were ways that they could get interested in the stories and really teach them, some of the most iconic history in the game.
Absolutely, and to allow them to experience a space like Vardenfell that the Bethesda Game Studios created that is really unique and iconic. And to Rich's point, there are so many people who now have played an Elder Scrolls game. You mentioned Skyrim. Like the number of people who played Skyrim is way more than the number of people who played Morrowind. Like, nobody would argue otherwise.
But if you grabbed hardcore Elder Scrolls fans and you asked them who their favorite is, 9 out of 10 will say Morrowind.
Certainly a lot of them will. And so there's a lot of folks that we want to bring back that sense of nostalgia for, but to Rich's point, also be able to bring a lot of people who have never experienced what is Morrowind really like. What does it mean, when you go from Seyda-Neen to Balmora to Sadrith Mora to Aldrune, and like how crazy different each of those things
So
feel.
Seyda-Neen existed 700 years before...
It did. So Seyda-Neen was actually the place that you landed when you first got off the boat in the tutorial.
I know. I remember.
And we have that place in our game. And when you go there, you will be like, oh my gosh. And we actually even have an ancestor of the original person in Morrowind at the desk when you go to check in.
Wait, is there anyone on a boat that tells you about your struggles and what's his Noob? N-I-U-B, I think?
Oh, wow.
I think that was his name.
N-I-U-B,
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Is he there? No? Okay.
Does the guy at the desk still sound like yes, we've been expecting you.
Right. We actually do have a play on that.
Awesome. That's great.
When I think of Morrowind as well, I think of mods, actually. It was one of the first games, like, back in the early 2000s that really, gave the community an opportunity to mod it. Is there any shout-outs, homages to that?
Not in the general sense of, hey, we're taking this and putting it in there. But that's one of the things that we always kind of look at for inspiration when we come up with a lot of our storylines.
Like what are the kinds of things that people wanted to add to that experience?
To help kind of flesh out the experience.
Speaking of adding on, the expansions, Tribunal and Blood Moon. Is there any references to them?
So you don't go to Solstheim at all. We're keeping you on the mainland proper, or on Vardenfell proper.
Okay.
Solstheim is where Blood Moon took place, and then Tribunal was in the Clockwork City, right?
I think
Tribunal was focused on...
It's like 17 years ago.
Tribunal, obviously.
Yes. But and as you said, you get a little taste of that in the 12-player...
and
as part of the main story, you actually go to bits and pieces of it as well. But yeah, we're teasing, and I guess I'll say we're saving Clockwork for later.
Yeah. Look, I mean...
So saving it for later, potential DLC?
Potential.
and housing, which is a big thing that's coming in the update,
Homestead
which
patch.
folks...
There will be houses that you can get in Vardenfell.
Okay, and when does... at the end of the trailer, it showed when this comes out, but can you remind us?
June 6th?
June 6th on all platforms.
So the next... all platforms. So it's all being released at once. Internationally?
Everywhere in the world, on every platform, June 6th of this year.
June 6th. And February 6th is when the Homestead patch comes out.
Yes.
All right. I feel like, are we missing anything? I want to make sure that any information about this game, we have gotten it out to the public.
I think we covered
Did we
it.
forget something?
Rich, when we talked about Battlegrounds, did you talk about, like, did you want to mention, like, any
game
of the
types?
Yeah, like any of the modes, give folks an idea of, like, what...
Yeah, so there will be at least 3. We are going to have...
And all 3 of these are 4v4v4?
Yes.
Okay.
They're all 4v4v4, and they're all team-focused. So there will be a team deathmatch. There will be a capture the flag type thing where you have to go and grab the enemy flag and bring it back to your base. We're still working on other ones, but
So this is almost comparable to like a shooter over any other like MMO Battlegrounds type.
Yeah, a little bit more like a first-person shooter game type. So.
It's really different than our current PvP, which is this much bigger scale, sort of slower pace.
It depends, right?
I mean, the length of
right.
time is intended to be 15 minutes, like really short, close encounter skirmish.
Yeah, these are queue up, get in, play for 15 minutes, get into the next one.
And to the previous point, this is not like the 3 different factions in the Elder Scrolls Online. They are completely. It doesn't matter what alliance you're in, or what race you are.
You and your 3 best friends getting together and
everybody in the playlist is in Ebonheart Pact. It doesn't matter. You get assigned to different teams and yeah, it's designed to just be a fun way to jump in and get like some fast-paced, quick action.
Small scale PvP.
Yep. And look, we've been getting asked about this kind of thing for a long time. And it's a really fun, different way for folks who are into that online competitive, like, I want to fight my way up the
And there's going to be you said there's going to be rankings, right?
There's a leaderboard.
People want leaderboards. They care
There's
about
leaderboards,
that.
yep.
And there's cool swag that you can get and rewards that you earn for playing it. So it's not just about prestige, that there's stuff that you can get for playing in there as well. I think it's going to be huge. And we're going to start with how many different
There's going to be
races?
3 maps and 3 game types.
And all 3 of those maps are going to be on Vardenfell as well.
Yep.
One of which inside the Red Mountain. That's so cool.
In the quarry.
I'm sorry, in the quarry. In the
Right.
quarry inside the Red Mountain.
Close enough.
Close enough. So we have new class, the Warden.
Yes.
New Battlegrounds, 4v4v4. Vardenfell is coming. And
New trial.
new trial for in-game players.
Yep.
And Save Avec, the main quest line.
Save Avec, save Vardenfell, save the world.
And how about we remind everyone one more time what they get for the pre-order? You get this awesome robot right here. I don't know if
He's the
This is the collector's
This
edition. I
I'm
wish
sorry,
I could
yes,
give
the collector's
everybody a
edition.
pre-ordered away.
We have this. We
What
have
about the art book?
Oh yeah, and the we'll go through again. So this is the Discovery Pack, and this is what you get for the Discovery Pack. You get a new mount, you get some crates, a number of different items. This is for anybody who pre-orders any of the different versions that I mentioned. Whether you're just
the treasure map.
Yep. Whether you're just upgrading, whether you're buying the full thing, the collector's edition. This is all the digital stuff that you get that comes with the collector's edition. You get a special mount. You get the special war bear. You get the spider pet, and then the physical collector's edition comes with the giant
There it
Warden
is.
statue.
Oh, and the
art
journal.
book, a new book.
Amazing
yeah,
art book.
And the book isn't just an art book. Like it's an art book plus you get all of that backstory and lore.
It's Narya's giant journal, right?
Yes.
It's Narya's journal of her basically running around murdering people.
Oh,
Yeah,
how
like,
great!
it's really, really
Like
Fantastic.
the journal of a Morag Tong
Yep.
assassin. Like what has she done and where has she been? You get a special case for your disc. It's really fantastic. The response to the book that we did the first time for ESO was terrific. Where we didn't want to just do like, hey, here's some art that we made making the game, but we wanted to tell a story and give you a sense of the world. And Naryu is a popular character, and the Morag Tong being the precursor, I guess, kind
Right.
of sort of to the Dark Brotherhood.
Yep.
I mean, the Dark Brotherhood is an offshoot of the Morag Tong. Getting to understand more of what their life is like and what this character is like, we thought was really cool. So all of that stuff comes in the physical one, and then you get all the digital goodies with the digital collector's edition.
When and where can people get this?
Anywhere that you buy games.
So retailers.
You're going to be able to get
okay,
it.
wow.
You can get it through us, through Steam, Xbox, PSN, GameSpot, but wherever you buy games, anywhere in the world, all of this stuff will be available. Upgrade, buy the full thing, physical, digital only, whatever flavor you like. We've got a version of the game for you, and we can't wait for Morrowind on June 6th. We're super excited.
Well, Pete, Rich, thank you guys so much. And of course, thank you guys for joining us here as well. But before we send off, let's check out that trailer one more time.
What do you ask of me, assassin?
Sanction to execute the Grand Master for his betrayal of the Order.
Granted. Kill him somewhere out of the way to avoid questions. Bring any allies you meet. Morrowind has need of you all.